Actually live, broadcasting only on onedealaway.com/live. This is Money Matters. My name is Nev, and today is Veterans Day, November 11th. So thank you for all of the veterans, and happy Veterans Day. Hopefully you have a wonderful way to celebrate. Maybe not as big of a celebration in the years pre or without pandemic, but hopefully you're still able to do it. And I just want to thank you for all of your service that you have done and continue to do, even though I don't believe in wars. But I do understand sometimes wars happen. Today, we're not going to talk about wars. We're not going to talk about any of that stuff. We're going to be talking about what is happening in the world of crypto. And there's some amazing things that have happening. We're also going to be talking about the markets. Markets went banana this week. We saw some of the pandemic favorites like the tech basically crumble, and we've seen things that have been crumbling like energy sector just go through the roof. And there was a crazy stuff that was happening. We're going to take a look into that stuff. We're also going to look into what's happening in the futures market to try to predict where we're going to go today, potentially at least to open. Now, how we're going to close, it's anybody's guess. We're going to be also looking at the crypto stuff because there was a potential announcement that some sort of something weird happened with Ethereum, with the potential split, hard fork in Ethereum. Is it not? Is it happening? But there was a big issue that was happening earlier this morning. For some of us, we were still asleep. For others, well, we were wide awake trying to figure out why can't I withdraw my money? Why is nothing working? And of course, we're going to explain all of that stuff here today. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, this is absolutely a show for you. Let's do this. And good morning and welcome. I do want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody watching this live on onedealaway.com. Make sure you sign in, say hello. We're going to do a Q&A at the end of the show as always. If you're watching this elsewhere, do me a huge favor. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit notification button if there's such things that exist, and help me help other people. Let's get this news show on the road. And the kitty is trying to attack the computer again. So if you see me kind of like trying to be a little bit on the frantic side, that's what it is. I'm defending technology from primitives. Kitties trying to attack stuff. All right, just kidding. Not really. Okay, so all heck broke loose in the markets on the vaccine on Monday. Stock splits into some sort, others plunged. What the hey happened? So let's take a look. Well, of course, investors were piling into various things and fleeing other things. Reports of outrageous, probably outrageous too, but outages on online brokers like Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Vanguard, and others, where traders could not log into their apps and couldn't make the trade. And that was very, very painful. So this is the part that is very challenging, not just for the stonks, but also for the crypto as well, as we're going to talk about in a moment of what has happened over there on that side of the things. That we have to rely on the exchanges, right? They have to kind of aggregate the data. The challenge with that is that if they're not ready for the surge of people kind of coming in, you are left holding the bag, so to speak. Now, sometimes that's beneficial because things pump and you're like, woohoo, I just made additional cash, which is amazing. On the other hand, things could be going terribly wrong and you lose a lot of money, and that's what outrage with the outage comes in. So that's kind of what we're seeing that was happening. So NASDAQ ended up 1.5% in the red. Dow Jones Industrial actually went up as much as 1,600 points occasionally, and then by the end of the day, losing about 800 points and being up 2.95%. And S&P spiked 137 points and, of course, was up by 1.2%. Now, here are some of the pandemic winners that we've been seeing going through the roof that basically had this giant sell-off. Zoom went down 17.4%, Netflix down 8.6%, Amazon down 5%, Facebook down 5%, Nvidia 6%, Apple 2, Microsoft 2.4, Tesla 2, and then Google was basically unchanged. Enormous bloodletting in certain corners of the pharma and biotech space among the COVID-19 vaccine stocks. So when Pfizer, I want to say, announced the potential of the coming in, people just basically exited everything, right? So you can see that it's like negative 45%, 38%, 37%, 32%. I mean, these are like crypto moves. These are definitely crypto moves for sure. Now, Pfizer announced the COVID vaccine news. Its shares jumped 15%, and then of course right away, and then over the course of the day, kind of gave up some of that stuff and closed the day up 7.7%. Big gains in numerous sectors, including travel, entertainment, restaurants, mall REITs, retail, energy, and so on. This was absolutely crazy. So you can see that like Delta up 17%, which is nowhere near. Sabra, which provides software as service to the airline hospitality, went up 40%. Carnival went up almost 40%. Norwegian cruise liners up almost 27%. Simon Property Group, the largest mall REIT, up almost 28%. CBL Associates basically went up 46%. Macy's 22%. AMC 51%. Again, these are just some crazy things that we've seen move. Crude went up over 10%. Energy stocks also went up. ExxonMobil up almost 13%. Chevron up 11.6. Oil driller Concho Resources up 14.5%. Just crazy stuff that's been going on. And then long-term treasury securities went rogue. Prices dropped, yield spikes. 10-year treasury yield spiked by 26 basis points from 0.7% to 0.96 at the close. And this is the highest that we've seen since the March. Gold and silver got hammered down. Gold went down 5%. Silver went down 7.6%. We know that silver is much more faster to move on up and down. Now, interesting piece that after hours, we've seen some changes. We're going to take a look at after/before hours in a moment. But Beyond Meat basically plunged 28% after hours in trading. And of course, it also dropped 4% during the day, and it reported a loss of 19 million on 94 million revenue. But the interesting piece is they also announced a partnership with McDonald's. I don't know if you saw that or not. And the shares, instead of kind of going up on the news, are still continuing to plummet. So this is an interesting sort of a twist that, sometimes things just you think are going to move it up, but they don't. Let's take a look at what's going on with the futures. So here's the S&P futures. As you can see, they are definitely on the up, signaling potentially that S&P is going to open higher today. But again, not a guarantee. Here's what happened Monday. Look at this thing. It just went bananas. It has come down since then, and we are on the sort of healthy trend on up over the 5 days. Dow Jones up as well, 5 days. Same story as it was with S&P 500. Nasdaq had this giant dip down here. It recovered incredibly well, mostly trading sideways over the last few hours. As you can see, Nasdaq futures are down quite a bit. And even in a month, look at this thing. It went just ballistic down into early November. It climbed up November 8th, only to come back down. But on the 6 month, we are doing just fine. Still unable to claim the September high. Crude oil, as you can see, it's up on the futures market by 3.29%. This is huge. Look at this. It was kind of like flattish over here, and it's just been on the tear on up. We did see the early November kind of hit the local low, and it's been climbing up since. So will the trend continue? Who the hey knows? Gold still down and continue to kind of come down. As you can see, we saw this giant drop on Monday and mostly staying sideways. Here is a 1 month thing on gold. Here is the 6 month, And as you can see, we're still above the 6-month beginning, but we're definitely down from the high. Silver is telling basically the same story, just slightly more volatile. As you can see, 5 days definitely down, 1 month definitely down, but on the 6 month, we basically were starting here in May at $15.69 and are now at 24. But we were hitting, 29, then we kind of came up to 27, right? Kind of trading there, and came back down over here. Treasury yield, as you can see, this is a straight line on up, and is still holding at just shy of 1%, or 1, so it's 0.972. It's been definitely on the way up. Even in the 6-month time period, year to date, we are down, but that kind of makes sense. And here is where it was this like super low thing that we've climbed on back up yet again. So the yield is up, the prices are down, very interesting. And then the VIX volatility is definitely down over the last 1 day, even the 5 day. If we go to 1 month, as you can see, there was volatility that picked up in October. We've come down severely since then, and this is the high basically in March, but we've come down, and it's been mostly sideways with an occasional up and down here. And that's what's happening in the traditional market space. Now we're going to go in and take a look at what is happening with the crypto stuff, because sometimes they ride in tandem, sometimes they don't. I think that there's going to be a decoupling of it in a big way. I think we're seeing that happen, but again, you just need it to run a little bit longer before you can call it a guarantee, a sure thing that is happening. So here is the BTC when I started sort of putting things together for the show. Let's take a look, and slightly down, but still holding above 15,000. So Bitcoin is at $15,554.51, up for 1.2% over the 24 hours and 11.1% in 7 days. Ethereum is also holding strong, well above 400. It's been holding above 400 for a very long time, for a while now. It broke over that 400, holding steady. Slightly down in the last hour, but still up 2.2% in 24 hours and 18.5% in 7 days. Definitely beating the Bitcoin. And as we scroll down the top 100 by markets, you can see that we're having a little bit of split of the green and the red, but on the 7 day, you will notice this is the column right here where my mouse is. It's predominantly in the green. So let's take a look at the biggest pumps of the day, 24 hours. LRC is up 27.9%, UMA up 16.8%, VT 12.8%, HBAR up 10.5%, Nexo 8%, and then it goes down into single digits, if you would, from the high, so to speak. If we take a look at the sort of the dump, Mana is one of them, and that's the Decentraland coin. I'm gonna share with you in a moment kind of what's been going on there, but it has pumped 34% in the 7 day. Now Mana is Decentraland coin, and it's been holding steady. But what we've seen, and I had the article, but the computer crashed. I had to restart everything before the show. So they had listed on Coinbase recently, and we do know one thing is that when we see coins list on Coinbase, let me see if I can adjust the lighting. Ooh, that's a little bit too bright. We don't want to do that. Shut it off. You don't need to see me. You need to see the screen. But anyways, so it pumped up really heavily, and of course we know that a list on Coinbase, it just goes up through the roof. It went up about 60% from the listing, and now it's coming back down. The other one that was also listed on it was Civic, CVC. I don't see it over here at all. So it didn't dump as much, but Civic went up almost 600% since it listed. and it has come down since then. And here I actually have pulled up Civic chart. Hold on, wrong chart. To take a look at what's going on. Hold on. There you go. So you can kind of see what has transpired. So it listed on Coinbase somewhere around here, and it went on up, as you can see, all the way up to like almost 17 cents. Since then, it has come down to 10 point something cents. And I'm just kind of analyzing this. This is a 30-minute candle chart to take a look at what's going on. But you can see that Civic has kind of gone sideways for a while. It has come up with a pump. I've done a little bit of a drawing to see if this is going to basically hold up. As you can see, you can look at the MACD. It was definitely in the overbought category. Now it's in the oversold category. Will it hold above this line? I don't know. As you can see, it looks like we're having a little bit of a support right here at whatever this line is. So at 10 and 3 cents. Right now is at 10.35. So we'll see if it actually breaks underneath it. But if it bounces off of it, this is going to be very bullish, because we're going to have basically double bottom, which typically signals that it's going to go down. And MACD is definitely signaling that we're in the undersold category, which could be very bullish, at least short term. If we take a look at a 4-hour chart, hold on, it doesn't like when I do this. It's still showing MACD in the overbought category, but kind of coming down, with the volume being on the sell side, as you can see. But it was super down here that was happening. Let's see if we could do all. Oh goodness gracious. 1 month. So you can kind of see what's been happening here. Let me see if I can change this to maybe 1 day, 1 week maybe. And here is the chart of what's been going on. So it used to be up well above $1 back in 19. It has come down since then, but now it's trying to reclaim. And as you can see, I mean, it went up, up, up. So it should be an interesting play with it. But this is that Coinbase effect that I wanted to share with you, that Mana experienced as well. There are a few other coins that experience the same thing. They go up ballistic, come back down to some sort of normal level, and then normal trading could kind of continue. So this is the interesting piece, that a lot of the traders kind of go in, they look at what is about to list on Coinbase, buy, wait for it to come up, sell, make profit, wait for it to come back down, and then maybe they buy again, maybe not. It's going to be an interesting thing. If we take a look at these 7-day winners, Aave is up over 104%. It has been dumping since then a little bit. Wi-Fi is up 87.9%, SNX 74.9%. So we're definitely seeing big pumps happening with altcoins. Again, they are starting to come back to life. When it comes to the dumping, CRO is still on the biggest loser end, followed by XMR, which is Monero. Numeraire is down 4.2, and then we go into 0 point something. So I'm not even considering that any of the dumping things. Overall, market is doing pretty well. It's enjoying a, relatively speaking, good good moves, good markets and stuff. But now I want to take us into what is going on with or what was happening with Ethereum. So here is the news that kind of broke earlier this morning. Ethereum service providers experience issues after reported blockchain split. This is huge. And here is what was happening. There were some network issues. Earlier this morning at 8 o'clock European time, let's call it that, UTC, Ethereum infrastructure provider Infura said it is experiencing a service outage for its Ethereum mainnet API. Now, Infura provides API access to Ethereum network and other applications and services especially if they're not running their own nodes. And so if something goes down with them, that's kind of what's happening. So it prompted some Infura users to halt Ethereum-based services over the issues, including MetaMask and Binance. Uh, and the problem at Infura looks to stem from a problem with Ethereum client Go Ethereum or Get. Binance and Blockchain tweeted soon before press time that they had possibly been a split in the Ethereum blockchain, and Blockchain added that it had fixed the issue by upgrading Get. Ethereum developers announced a change on the code that led today to a chain split starting from block 11234873 at 7 o'clock UTC. That's kind of what's been announced. Now, of course, they were calling it technically an unannounced hard fork. We're still waiting to get news of what is going on, and of course they believe that the changes may have been made a month ago by the developers, which caused the split today. Is it truly split? Is it not? We don't still know quite yet, but the price of Ethereum has been unaffected at the press time, and as you can see, it's unaffected even right now. So that's kind of where the updates were at 10 o'clock UTC. They said, Binance said they reinstated services for Ethereum-based tokens, and Infura says that the team has identified the root cause and are preparing to fix and restore the service functionality. So this is kind of what's been going on with Ethereum blockchain. So this is going to be an interesting one to follow, but as you saw from the prices, there was really no changes whatsoever in that sector. Now, I do want to talk about some of the other components that I think are important to discuss and talk about. And one of that is that, Bitcoin is definitely still on the rise, on the tear. Everybody's kind of jumping into it. Well, I don't know everybody, but people are definitely jumping into it. And here's an announcement for one of the top banks, world's largest banks, issuing bonds that can be bought with Bitcoin. This is a huge move, not just for finance, but also for cryptos. China's construction bank has used blockchain technology to issue the first tranche of a planned $3 billion worth of debt. They partnered with a Hong Kong-based fintech to issue the first ever blockchain-based digital security. CCB is ranked as second largest bank worldwide by total assets as of fall 2020. Digital bonds will be issued through an offshore branch of CCB in Labuan, Malaysia. They will be paying an annual interest of LIBOR plus 50 basis points, or roughly 0.75%. Sorry, not 75%, 0.75%, which is much higher than you can get anywhere else. But then again, now we're seeing that the 10-year treasury is paying 0.97, so who knows, maybe it's not as high. But it is definitely high. Now, one of the things that is a slight red flag for me is the fact that they're still using LIBOR plus 50 basis points, and LIBOR is going away. It's scheduled to go away in 2021, which is right around the corner. So it kind of doesn't make sense if you ask me personally. Of course, they're saying you can buy it for as little as $100 a piece. Now, bonds are being used as tokenized certificates of deposit in the blockchain, which supports the issuance of such small sum bonds. The tokenized certificate of deposit will be tradable on Fusion Exchange, and the exchange, which is regulated in Labuan, will launch live trading of the bonds on November 13th. If the bonds are popular, the digital exchange intends to initiate similar products denominated in other currencies. And the residents of United States, if you were thinking about buying it, China, as well as entities and persons in Iran and North Korea, will not be able to purchase the digital security. And it is very interesting that United States has been put in the same basket with China, North Korea, and Iran, or Iran, depending on how you look at it. So that's one of the very interesting pieces that I have thought over here. I don't know how you feel about it. Let me know how you think if the United States is being put in the same basket with North Korea. Yikes and ouch. This is the first publicly listed debt security on a blockchain, but I don't think it's going to be last. Now, in additional news, Lebanon Central Bank will be introducing digital currency in 2021. If you know, Lebanon banks, central banks have been struggling a big deal with their currency. There's been rises and problems and bank failures and run on banks and all this crazy stuff. And now they're actually issuing basically a digital central currency in a bid to restore confidence in the banking sector and move economy to a cashless system. This is going to be an important one for all of us to monitor and to watch, because it is going to be a very interesting move to see how they actually program their money and what they will be doing. They're of course looking to compete with the digital yuan, with Libra, with Bitcoin, with everything else that is happening, and this is going to only continue. So we're going to see more and more of this stuff happening, and it is something that is important to take a look at. Now, one of the things to kind of finish off with today, slightly shorter show than normal, is Bitcoin price. And I do want to take a look at over here with the Bitcoin price kind of happening. Here we are. We can see that we have been going. This is an interesting piece that I have been looking at. This is a 4-hour candle chart. We go sideways, pump up, go sideways, pump up. So we've pumped over 15,000, approached almost 16, came back down to the, mid to low 14,000s, and now we're doing sideways move. As you can see over here, this is incredibly good and incredibly bullish, and you can see right over here, it looks like we have fairly strong support at just slightly over 15,000. I believe that this is going to continue to kind of stay in within the channel, and then typically potentially gonna go up. Now, one of the things that I did want to point out, if we take a look into this stuff, let's take a look at the 6-month, is that it is normal to kind of go sideways up, sideways up. What we've seen recently is that, it went from 10,000 to 11,000 to about 13,000, from 13,000 to 15,000. So now it's trying to come up with the footing, and then what I think is going to happen, instead of going from 15 to 16, it is likely going to gap to 17, maybe even 18,000. So is it possible? Some people are saying, is it possible that we're going to hit 20,000 before the end of 2020? Yes, I think it's definitely possible, but we'll see. Nobody knows what exactly is going to happen or how this is going to play out. So there you go, slightly shorter show today. Say that fast 5 times, Nev. I can't. I want to thank you for watching. Do me a huge favor, smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, stay forever money blessed, and do remember, you are only one deal away.